93.3 KZOZ FM San Luis Obispo. The home of Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
They have no chemistry at all.
Jeff and Jeremy here now with Dumbass of the Day, brought to you by Peterson's U-Cart. They've got a bunch of stuff on sale. What do they got? Walk on Bark right now.
10% off
Get it.
if you get 4 yards, or if you live in Atascadero, they'll do a free delivery.
That's pretty good.
Which is awesome.
And remember how Peterson U-Cart works is they have the carts, they fill them up, you hook them up to your rig, you drag it home, you dump it, you bring it back. It's real easy. You don't have to throw it in the back of your SUV.
Like me,
or your minivan.
I don't have a hitch.
Get a hitch.
They
put them on minivans. I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it too. Problem is, my minivan is very suspect to transmission problems, and I'm coming up on 200,000 miles. I'd like to keep that thing intact. I think I'm going to hold off for the next vehicle to put a hitch on.
Maybe go get yourself a pickup from Paso Ford.
It's a possibility.
Anyways, Peterson U-Cart.
Prices.
All the landscaping stuff you need is there. It's ready to go. They do the heavy stuff to the light stuff, meaning the bark to the concrete, the pipes, and more. Go to their website to find out everything about them. They're on Augusta Road in A-Town. It's Peterson, the letter U, carts.com.
How pathetic can some people be?
Here's a random thought. I don't know what kind of swing set you guys had growing up, but my swing set sucked. Right? Because my dad put it together for us, and every time we swung on it, one pole would come right out of the grass. Because your dad do such a crap job cementing it in. You'd actually swing on it, then see the swing set above you. You're like, bees and wasps would always come out of that top tube.
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Those crappy swing sets that I think they would buy them at like Kmart or Sears or something
like little
that.
plastic seats that would end up cracking.
Yeah, but it was metal because plastics hadn't come that far. Composites hadn't come that far to where it could be sturdy enough yet in the early 80s. So we had one, and the metal would sit out in the sun, and they put cheap paint on the metal, and it would sit out in the sun, and it would oxidize like within a month.
Yeah.
And then you go, and because it was metal, you could hang on it and stuff like that, so you treat it as your own jungle gym. And I just remember having this white coating of oxidization on your hands.
Like chalk.
When you were done.
It was like chalk.
Terrible. What kind of chemicals were they putting in the play sets that we had when we were kids?
Asbestos. I don't know. Might as well have been, right? This is a funny story. This happened in the state that we're from, but it's in eastern Washington, so we're going to separate ourselves a bit, being from western Washington, Jeff and I. This actually happened in middle Washington, a place called Pasco County. Walla Walla County, in Pasco. Pasco is the town, Walla Walla is the county. A lot of great wine coming out of Walla Walla County.
Yeah, watch
Pasco,
out, because Pasco County, there's a Pasco County in Florida where a lot of crime happens.
Pasco is the town, yes. Walla Walla is the county. This guy's name is Dustin Bushnell. He's 30. He's got a boy. Wanted to get his boy a sled. He's a bit of a thief. Apparently, he had been in a catalytic converter ring of theft. He was one of the guys circled in the investigation by Detective Julie Lee. Detective Lee was going over to his place, or I should say his trailer, in the trailer court, to look for catalytic converters. She got a search warrant to go inside, and that's when she found that Dustin Bushnell had stole a slide from one of the county parks, brought it home, and attached it to his son's top bunk. So, you take your kids to the park, right? So
what?
Imagine going to the park and the slide is missing because it's over at Dustin's house. He took the slide and attached it to his kids' bunk beds. So when she went inside to do the search warrant, she's like, wait a second, this doesn't look right. Did a little research and found out that the park around the corner had been missing a slide.
You're kidding me.
Hey, kids are expensive, man. You got to buy them all these expensive toys.
Or just take it from the city.
Yeah. So he was arrested. He was taken in. I mean, it's pretty expensive slide. Those slides that they put up for those, don't steal them. It's a felony, folks. It's a felony. So, by the way, I think they're also going to get him on the catalytic converters.
Yeah, probably. That's like the main thing, right?
God, it's so great. So Parks and Rec had to, you get the call, hey, we know where your slide is. Get in your pickup and go over there and pick it up. It's over there at the Bushnell residence in Pasco. Congratulations, Dustin Bushnell. You slide stealing mofo. You are Jeff and Jeremy.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Don't be a dummy when it comes to your landscape supplies. Go to Peterson U-Cart on Gusta Road, just north of Quickie Car Wash in Atascadero.
We love U-Cart. You stay.
Jeff and Jeremy here. We got Robin on from Woods Humane Society. Good morning. How you doing, Robin?
Good morning, guys. I'm good.
Very good. I'm glad to hear about it. So tell us about what's going on this week at Woods.
Well, our pet of the week, we're featuring our friend Tiny. I say he has a tiny name, but he has a big heart. He's about a 60-pound pit bull mix. He's 7 years old, so he's a pretty mellow guy. He actually is very cute, and he's a good guest at Woods because he keeps himself occupied in his kennel with his toys. He'll just be playing with himself, throwing them up in the air, hiding them from himself, and it's nice to have a dog that can kind of entertain themselves as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everybody knows that dog that's like, grabs a toy and is like pushing it against you at all times. Like, they always come up to your leg or they try to put it in your hand. They're like, here, throw this for me.
Oh,
here,
yes.
Throw this for me.
It's the most annoying thing my dog does, and I've been working endlessly every day to get him to stop doing it. I mean, I've tried squirt
Then
bottles.
This person comes over, and then they're like, hey, maybe this person will throw it for me. So they start putting it in their mouth.
That's the worst, is because you get them to stop doing something, and then somebody comes over, and it's like substitute teacher syndrome, and it's like, boom. It's like everything we worked on out the door.
Oh, I agree. My daughter taught my dog to speak pretty early on after we adopted him, and us who work with animals don't really like teaching our animals speak because once they learn it, they use it for everything. If they want to play, if they want to go out, if they want to treat, just bark, bark, bark at you. So we kind of call it demand barking sometimes. So that's the one that I wish my dog didn't ever learn, is to speak.
I know. And you think it's so cool when they're puppies because they do that.
Little.
Oh, that's
like,
cute.
It's so cute.
It turns into, annoying, loud.
So
my dog does? He whines. He's a crier. Like, he will sit by the door where his toys are, and if we're not paying attention to him, he will cry until we get up and give him a toy or, chase him off.
This could be an entirely a topic that could go a lot of places. What is the one thing that you taught your pet that you wish you'd never taught him? Because in college, I lived with Jeremy and his wife now, Charlene, and I had my dog with me, and they thought it was hilarious because we used to teach him when he was a puppy to chase the cat. We had a cat.
Goodness.
We had a cat named Skippy, and him and Skippy would have fun playing around. We'd go get the kitty, go get the kitty, and my gosh. Now that Skippy went away, rest in peace, Skippy. And whenever he'd see a cat outside, he'd think it was Skippy. Rainier would think it was Skippy. And so, and my friends would think, oh, it'd be funny. But as dogs get older, their vocal cords come into, they mature. And it would be loud. And Jeremy and Charlene thought it was hilarious.
Meow. Just go like that, and he would go raging across the living room, jump on the couch to look out the window, and he was a hunter. It was great. But he was a smart dog because then he would come right out of it, and then 10 minutes later, meow.
Stop it! Time to get ready for school.
So this is what a good looking pup, and maybe you ought to get him an Instagram page. That seems to be working for you guys.
We might have to. We'll see what happens over the next few days. Maybe he'll find that home, but yeah, if not, he might end up getting his own little page.
So you guys are also doing Zoom sessions, right? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we've definitely done as much as we could over the last year. We've done some virtual classes, virtual online for dog obedience. But we got a lot of requests for this, so we're going to start doing some webinars. And so we have a little Zoom coming up, and it is free of charge. It's just you do have to register in advance. So we do have our next one coming up March 20th at 2 o'clock, and it's only about a half-hour commitment. It's going to be some questions and answers, and our trainers will be able to give a few tips for people who might have a fearful, frustrated, or feisty dog. And you guys might know what I'm talking about. those dogs that once they get on leash or maybe they're behind a barrier of some sort, they can get pretty reactive, whether they're kind of pulling or barking or kind of lunging as people or other dogs pass by. We call those kind of feisty Fidos around woods. And so we're wanting to offer some support for those people and hopefully make their walks a little more enjoyable and hopefully not get frustrated.
That's a great service that you guys are providing to the community by doing that. And gosh, to think that, I mean, if there's good things that come from what, a pandemic has taught us what to do and how to do stuff, it's that, I mean, the barrier to entry for something like this is a lot less than if you were to sign up and do it on a Saturday afternoon out at woods. I mean, you could
right.
get a lot of good information just on a Saturday afternoon at your house.
Right. Yes, we love in-person classes, and we get a lot out of those, but not everybody can come to that specific time or make that commitment for 6 weeks. So we want to be able to help people, whether it might be in person for you or it might be online, and something that we can reach a lot more people at one time, hopefully.
All right, so that's coming up this Saturday at 2 o'clock. I got one for you to work on, and I don't know if this is just a weird niche thing with my dog. Chasing lights and shadows. Like, holy cow, can't get his... I mean, if a bird flies by, he doesn't care about the bird. He sees that shadow, and it doesn't matter. He's a hunter, and he's going for it. And then his mind, he just gets so obsessed. I think I feel like I need a Cesar Millan type situation here. Like, we would probably be a good candidate. I should write his show, because we've been trying for 3 years to get him to stop doing this, and there's nothing. Everything.
I will ask our trainers and hopefully report back and give you a couple ideas.
There has to be other dogs.
Sometimes we hear about cats doing that.
Yes,
but I don't hear about it so much with dogs.
Yeah, no, this is just like a cat. He's such a weirdo.
Did you harass him with one of those laser pens or something when he was young? Did you
no
mess with those around the room?
I might have did it one time.
Oh, there you go.
When he was a puppy.
Because the things that we think are cute with the dogs, I mean, it sticks with them, man.
Yeah, because we did it with our other dog, and he was fine. But, yeah, I might have did it one time. I haven't done it since. But, yeah, anytime he sees light on the ground, he has to go chase it. But anyways, I'm sure other people have this issue. It's just so weird. But always great talking to you. Remember this Saturday for this webinar, online Zoom deal. It's at 2 o'clock. You can go to woodsihumane.org to find out more about it. Have a great week, Robin.
You too, guys. Thank you.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Jeff and Jeremy here. It's KZOZ. So, President Biden said last Thursday night on his address to the nation that by May 1, he wants to make sure that everybody can get a vaccine, which is, if you want to get one, that's great. What if you don't want to get one? Of course, you're getting a lot of pressure from, public service announcements, ads.
That's okay. So I was heading home on Thursday.
Go get one.
I was heading home on Thursday, and I got this feeling and he was like, tell your neighbors and tell the people that you work with and tell the people that, your family members that they have to get vaccinated. And I was like, this is
I'm not telling anybody anything. See, that's the
problem.
problem.
Biggest peer pressure thing I've ever.
That's
the government, the leader of the free world is telling people to peer pressure people into doing something. And I know
and that's what people are tired of hearing, of other people telling them what to do.
And I was just thinking that this is a huge peer pressure campaign. It's crazy. And people were just signing up to it blindly. And that's the kind of stuff that scares me, and that's the kind of stuff that, science fiction novels have been based off of, end of the world type science fiction stuff.
But anyways,
scary to me.
Yeah. So, but now I found a study of what vaccine people prefer, which I think is interesting because we have all these different vaccines now, and I'm just going to go with the top three.
Oh, and then I started thinking while you're going on this rabbit hole. I mean, like he mentioned Johnson and Johnson and Merck together because they were.
What's Merck?
Merck was helping Johnson and Johnson develop the the vaccine, but they're competitors. And he was talking about how great it is when two competitors like Johnson and Johnson and Merck are getting together. I was thinking, wait, is the president doing product placement now? Is that where we've arrived in society? Because I mean, why didn't he just say 2 pharmaceuticals that are developing a vaccine getting together? But no, he decided to do a little product
Things
placement.
that make you question.
And given the fact that he and his family have been tied to financial interests other places before, I don't know I would go down that road. If you want to gain the trust of the people that you're trying to push the vaccine onto.
Yes. Huh, that's interesting.
I am very skeptic. As you know, I don't believe that we landed on the moon in 1969.
Yes, you are a skeptic.
So when corporations' names get muttered out of a president's
Most
mouth,
people would not even pick up on that, but you're a skeptic.
I'm
you're
a skeptic.
Is he getting kickbacks?
Yes. What's the deal? Is he on the board?
How come he's not bringing up Pfizer or Moderna?
Does he have some kids that have some jobs promised when he's done being president? Because that's how politicians go about their lives. They get jobs with companies to sit on a board at the end of their tenure, and they do nothing. Because they passed laws that help those businesses while
lobbyists.
That's
their job.
In office.
Their job is to go to Washington and beg for money and
but
get it.
But none of this is talked about ever.
But anyways, back to what I was bringing up, and that's our house. What do you call that?
Sorry,
skeptic. Our run-of-the-mill house skeptic. But Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. These were the 3 vaccines people were asked. Which one are you, if you could choose, which one would you want? Do you want the Johnson & Johnson? Now, remember, that one, you just need 1 injection. Moderna and Pfizer, you need 2. But Pfizer and Moderna came out with theirs first. Which ones do you think were the most popular, Jeff? Moderna, Pfizer, or Johnson & Johnson? What do you think the people said they wanted to get?
I don't like talking about any of this based on what I just
this is
red-faced angry about.
What I think is interesting about this is when I give you the numbers of the picture that is painted in people's minds just from watching the news, or
honestly, people are going to go with the brand they know, and the brand they know is probably Johnson & Johnson.
No, it's the least.
Well, because
they're going with the brand that's been around the longest with the vaccine the longest, and that's Pfizer. They were released first.
Okay.
So Pfizer is number 1, Moderna is number 2. Even though you have to get 2 shots within, you got to wait a couple weeks.
But isn't it
Johnson & Johnson is the third choice?
Isn't it tested to be more effective than the Johnson & Johnson one?
Which ones?
The ones where you get the 2 shots.
Pfizer and Moderna, I believe.
Are you getting kickbacks? Why are you saying their names so much?
Who? Pfizer and Moderna?
Am I just surrounded by people? Is this the Truman Show?
We're all getting paid, baby!
Am I just surrounded by people that are just getting paid by Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson?
I just think, why? I mean, to me, I want to do Johnson & Johnson because it is the one shot. I don't have to go back. I get 1 vaccine and I'm good. But they actually came in lowest on the poll. Now, the other thing was some of the studies that were done with Johnson & Johnson were done in Australia, and apparently people had some sort of what's the term? They had some sort of reaction that was really just set to people in Australia that live in Australia. So that doesn't mean that people in Europe or North America are going to have the same. So maybe there's a good chance if they did another study, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine would actually be up closer to a Pfizer or Moderna protection level. Did that make sense?
No.
That only people in Australia that tend to have the
strain,
this something in their body that didn't accept the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, as well as maybe people in European countries or North America.
Colony. That's why they got prison.
I don't know.
They got prison blood.
It was a news story I heard.
I mean, Australia's just Britain's Alcatraz
on
right?
an alternative news source that was not, your mainstream media. So, but interesting, yeah. So whatever the news tells you, Pfizer, Moderna, number 1, number 2. Johnson & Johnson, number 3, because those are the ones you've heard the longest.
Maybe that's why Biden, in an effort to level the playing field.
Oh, he got a hold of this study. He's like, we need to get Johnson & Johnson American.
I don't know if many of the thoughts that are coming out of that mouth are his doing. But the people that wrote the speech probably got a hold of that study and said, okay, Johnson & Johnson needs to catch up with Pfizer and
I don't think you're in a minority there thinking that way. I really don't. Who's pulling the strings?
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.